you know, or white lettering out, then it means to make sure that that's out. If it's a directional tire, it'll have an arrow somewhere on the tire. These are not directional tires, so it doesn't matter which way you put them on. There's also an asymmetrical tire. Asymmetrical tires will have outside written on it, and that's pretty self-explanatory. That goes on the outside of the rim. And so if it's a directional tire with the arrows, you're going to have two of them where the arrow is going clockwise, and two tires where the arrow is going counterclockwise for it to mount up on the car. If you put them all on clockwise, then when the tires go on a car, two tires will be pointing the wrong direction. So just remember that with the directional tires, you have to make sure it's going in the direction of tire rotation when the car is moving forward. So if you're doing all four tires, two clockwise, two counterclockwise. And so, all right, now you got your new tire and you figured out which way it needs to go on. You're going to go ahead and lubricate the tire. All right. Again, the better you lube it up, the easier it's going to go on and seat and everything. So I'm going to go ahead and lubricate both sides of the tire. Okay. So now I'm going to lift the tire up. I'm not going to use the rim lift because the rim's mounted on there. So I'm going to put this on in place. Now I've got a TPMS sensor, and there is a position that you put the TPMS when you're mounting the tire on. So for the bottom bead, which is, we're going to put it at the 6 o'clock position. So this is 12, 6, 12, 3, 6, 9. So for the bottom bead, we're going to put it at the 6 o'clock position. So I'm going to move my TPMS sensor, which is right there, and I'm going to basically push down till it's at 6 o'clock. Okay. So then I can just take my tire, put it right here, bring the tool head down, and I'm gonna just put my tool head right there. Okay. So now that I'm in that position, I'm gonna just help the tire as I rotate it, just help walk it on. So you kind of just give it a little effort and it'll push itself right on. And once it drops down like that, okay. So now I'm going to go get the tire ready for the next one. So I've got to rotate it for the top mount, the top bead. I've got to rotate it to the 3 o'clock position. So I'm going to just go ahead and rotate my tire. Just let it go till it gets to the 3 o'clock position. It's not going to go on. Okay, so then I get to the 3 o'clock position. So I can manhandle this and push down and walk it around, or I can use my upper roller to hold that tire down. So go ahead and put that guy right there, and that should hold my tire. Lift this up. That'll keep my tire down in the drop center. Okay. And then the other thing you can also use is you can use this tool that assists you to keep the tire walking around. So I'm gonna go ahead and lock that on too. All right, and then I'll just go simply walk the tire around. And again, make sure everything rotates with the tire. See how it starts sliding a little bit? So at that case, I'm going to put a little more effort into holding this in place. And I want to go slow because I don't want to break the bead on a new tire. Need to make sure it's down in that drop center. So see how it's down in that drop center? That's a good thing. That's what you want to see. I don't know if you could see that, but yeah, right down in that drop center. So we're going to go ahead and continue walking it slowly. And again, you can hear that bead stretching, so I don't want to rip it. So I'm going to go slow. And then the last bit, where that TPMS sensor is the last place you want it to pop on, which it will. Right there. Okay, so now I can go ahead and remove the tool head up. Take the upper roller up. So I'm finished with those. Move them out of my way. Tool head out of my way. Remove my assist tool, so just pull up on it and pry back. So lift up and pull back. Put it back on the side of the machine so it's ready for you. So now I'm ready to air the tire up. So rotate the tire where you can get to the valve core. This has got locking mechanism. Lock it on a tire. I usually do this so it holds it straight. And then I'm going to go ahead and hit the air nozzle, which is right here. Now, if for some reason the tire's not seating, that's when you can use this. It goes right here. And when you press down on a tire, and it'll shoot air and assist, kind of like what they call a cheetah. It'll give it a burst of air to fill in if you need to. I don't think I'm going to need to on this one, so I'll go ahead and put it back in place, and I'll just go put my foot on the pedal. And of course, you're going to hear 2 pops. There was the bottom bead, and then you'll see the top bead pop here in a second. There's the top bead. So now I'm going to go ahead and look at my pressure gauge, and I'll usually air them up to 35. So if you are having trouble getting a tire to seat, one of the things, if you put new valve cores in, new valve stems, I'm sorry, if you put new valve stems, they come with the valve core already in it. So you have to remove that valve core to get the air to go in the tire faster. So if you're having trouble getting it to seat, make sure you took that valve core out. So again, I'm already up to 30, so it airs up a lot faster too with that valve core out. So I'm gonna go ahead and air this up to 35, 36, and something like that. And then I'm gonna go ahead and get my valve core ready. Take this off, put it in real quick. And go ahead and I can let the air out. If the tire pressure is 32, which it is for this vehicle, set it to 32, and I'm ready to balance the tire now. A couple of things too is I recommend getting a torque valve core. They have a torque limit, so you can't over tighten them, because some people have a tendency to over tighten the ones with the TPMS monitors, and it's not good. So you can buy these, they're not very expensive. They just have enough resistance, and then they start slipping once they get to that torque. Now that you've got the tire aired up, of course you can squeeze your triggers, pull up, push down, twist, lift up the centering cone, put it back into the storage place. Now the tire is ready to come off. Lift it up, save your back, let the tire down, and then you are set. So your tire's mounted now. All you're ready to do is roll it over to our balance machine, which we'll do next.